Hey, what's going on, all you beautiful people? Episode 3, second episode. We didn't really do all that much, just kind of got some things figured out, and now this is where the magic's going to happen. The shop helpers in here. Hey, Hope, you hot? Yeah. Were you stupid? You hot? You betcha. Oh, her breath stinks. It's terrible. It's like she's rotting from the inside. But, so what I've done, the drive shaft you see isn't there, and this is moved just a touch forward. I was speaking with some buddies of mine that are, well, they're incredibly smart. They're a lot smarter than me. They can get shit going in the middle of nowhere, and I'm just a guy that makes shit shiny. So the plan is here now. This is the drive shaft. This is the input or the output of the T case that slides in. And this is going to be my drive shaft. And speaking with the guys, they recommend that I have at least one U-joint because of the fact of torsional, how everything works, where the diff, the transfer case and the motor, because of the inputs are the same, they're going to naturally want to rotate the same way. So that's not a big deal. But once you put power into the differential, it's actually going to want to look to the sky or look down to the ground, but more likely to the sky, just because of the fact that the rotational mass inside the diff. So they recommend that I have at least one U-joint. I was going to run two, and then I told them, I said, I'll do my best. I'll do everything I can to try and get it nice and tight, nice and level with the output of the T case. And homeboy told me, well, yeah, do at least just one. That way, you know, you're going to wear, they're not going to, the U-joint will wear out because of the fact that U-joint that is on a level plane like this, all your rotation is going to be basically on just a couple splines inside the U-joint, and they're going to wear. Whereas if you have your drive shaft like that, then all the splines get all the rotation, and your U-joints actually last. Fucking smart. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off right here, clean it up till I get to the slip, and then I'm going to take the other drive shaft, wherever I put it, it doesn't matter, and then the output for the diff is going to go right there. So I'm going to have maybe 3/4 inch of slip and drive shaft length, and then it's going to bolt on to my my carrier. Going to give me a lot more clearance, going to bring everything in a little bit. I'm going to try and get underneath that that 25, 24 mark. I'd like to sit around 23, 22, but I don't know. Here's the hoping. So I'm losing about 5 inches. As you can see there, the case is dropped. I'm going to lose about 5 inches of ground clearance with this is all set up. So I'm actually going to extend this up. I'm going to cut those down. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to extend my my track bars, my stabilizer links on the back of the machine. You're going to have to bring them out, make them a little bit longer to accommodate for the new length. But, well, I've got to extend everything else anyway, so not a big deal. Because I want to keep it, I want to at least, I want 30 inches of ground clearance. That's the deal. If I'm currently like 29.5. If I can stay in that range, I'll be a happy camper. I may lose a couple, but not a big deal. So, anyway, let's get to it. Alrighty, it's been a few days no filming, but I have been working on the machine. So what I've got going, I have the side-by-side somewhat level. I just disconnected the front shocks. Got the old trusty spruce and jack there so it doesn't fall down, even though I'm not going to be climbing in behind it. But what I ended up doing is I ended up removing this factory, the suspension rear trailing arm mount, and then I ended up cutting out where the sway bar goes. I ended up taking the sway bar up just because of the fact that I never use it. It was just dangling there anyway. And, well, this was just the perfect opportunity to kind of get rid of it. So what this is all removed. This is actually where the drive line, the drive shaft for the front differential is going to come through. I'm going to snake it through there and get it going up front. But then I started to clean up this back here, try and get my lateral bars ready to go. And yeah, I think what I'm actually going to do is initially I planned on bringing them and then notching them into about here and then bringing them straight out to the back of the machine. Now I'm just going to run them straight, and that's going to give the carrier a lot larger place to sit, give me a lot better bolt spacing and that sort of thing, so I can get it mounted down. Then instead of going off of the factory location where it actually welded in, I'm going to tie it back off of that bar there and that bar there. So then off the back of the machine, it's actually going to look like it ties off those slopes. Should give a lot nicer profile. I was saying before, it looked kind of goofy, and it did. It looked fucking stupid, to be completely honest with you. So this is going to look actually like it ties off the cage nice smooth transition, and then I'll be able to build a nice platform there. But anyway, it's Tuesday. It's 11:30 at night. I've been up since like 5 o'clock at work and all that kind of stuff, and now I'm working on this bad boy. So time to go to bed, and I'll work on it again tomorrow. Got the new tubing kind of sitting, and I've just kind of had to cope it just a little bit, just because of the fact that well, I am going on to a contoured pipe. So that one I just kind of hand did it. I didn't really take any measurements, or I don't have a notcher anyway, so I'll be doing everything by hand. But I just used the die grinder, nice and tight, and so that's kind of where it sits all the way down. I've got it set, so that's the approximate length. I don't have my drive shafts or nothing made yet here now, so I'm going probably a couple inches extra, just because of the fact that I don't want to have to extend tube. I would rather cut it than extend. So anyway, that's the start of it. Start tacking it in and build the other side. Alrighty, so it's been a few days. I've been under the weather. I haven't been doing anything. I don't know if I maybe caught the you-know-what, but hasn't been good. Full body aches, been down and out, 17 hours of sleep. Anyway, finally back in here, work on the, and I had initially gotten those the side bars in, and when I had the T-case in, actually the output from being this side bar was up too high. The output was actually hitting on the exhaust right there. So I've got the new bar in here. I've already done one bend, and you can see, so this is the left-hand driver's side, and I've just got bend down, and then I've been marking them just because this isn't an actual good tube bender. It's just kind of a pipe bender. So I've been marking them about every inch where I do the bend so I don't get a kink. And now I've got my flat section in here, and I'm going to start bending this up. So then this will be the flat spot where the T-case can sit in and everything's level, and I'm going to start bending this up and out. So we'll get the camera set up and we'll do a couple bends and see if we can't get that thing sitting in there tonight. And there we have it. First bit of tubing that I'm trying to bend. And I'm not really good at bending tubing. Don't do it very often. Been known for laying a little bit of pipe back in my day. But no, I screwed up already. So I've got this nice radius down bend here, and I didn't even follow my own directions. I'm supposed to bend here and then bend it back. So this is supposed to be a turn down, and this is supposed to be my flat spot, and that's supposed to turn up. And I skipped literally the first step. So this piece is now junk. Probably be able to use it somewhere off there doing that, or so it's not completely garbage, but this guy is now toast. So get another piece and start over. Well, I'm sweating like a freaking stuck pig, let me tell you. But we got our first bend in, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I'm not keen on about how far down it goes, because, well, unfortunately with that guy, being that it's not the world's greatest. It was borrowed, and I'm forever grateful. But yeah, unfortunately, where I wanted to bend it down, I was able to bend it down, but just because of the dies and the rollers, I couldn't bend it right off of this. And that would have been the ideal, but I've got a ton of space here. So unfortunately, I think my only action is actually I'm gonna have to cut this and cut it there and draw that pipe up to get it closer to the T-case so it's not hanging down a good amount. But that's basically how I'm going to have the T-case sat. I was a little worried because I knew I had to clock it, but that's actually fairly straight. That this bolt is usually right there, so it's only clocked a few degrees, and then the output should clear straight past. It's just a matter of me now cutting this pipe, getting it tucked up. I'm going to get it cut, tucked, and welded so it's fairly tight to the T-case. And then I'm going to build my bend up, and then I'll do my bend out, and then I'll have to cut again and get everything nice and tight. I don't really know what my options are as for getting that bent, because that is pretty... Even with a nice mandrel bender, I think that's going to be pretty tight to have compound bends like that. But I don't know, we'll see what we can figure out and we'll go from there. Well, I ended up getting a little bit more work done on the rear frame section. I did end up having to cut that. It was just dropped down so far. So then what I've done is I cut it out, and then I've got it angled up and obviously curling past the T-case and then up to the where the rear diff is going to sit. So everything's just kind of sitting there right now, but it's nice and level. I've got the drive shaft in place, and it's going to clear the crankcase cover, which is good. And then I'm just going to probably have to build something in here for a support once I get a drive shaft made, and we'll start going from there. But that's basically her. Old tube bender. It's working. Like I say, I'm not the best at doing tube work. I haven't done it a whole lot, but just kind of taking my time, and well, we're getting there. So I got this piece coped on the one side, and I'm going to attach it there on the other side, right in line with the bolts, and I'm going to actually have it coped onto the weld seam. That way it's going to give that weld seam a little bit more, and my plan was to get this finished up, this brace welded in, and kind of cap the video there. But I can't find my fucking marker. I have been looking in this place for 20 fucking minutes. Pardon my language. 20 minutes. I used it right there when I cut this piece off the other one, and then I marked it and coped it. And I have checked this table. I have checked absolutely everything. Oh man. If anyone, if you work in a shop or you do anything, you lose whatever you just had absolutely instantly, and it's been 20 minutes. I have no idea where it is. So anyway, I'm gonna call it here. We're going to the lake, family weekend, and some friends coming up, and I've got all next week off, so I'm not gonna get much done on this guy. So anyway, appreciate every one of you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.